Let's chat about the whys of where for a moment. The most important question that a spatial thinker asks is not where, but why. Where by itself is important, but to stop there cuts short spatial thinking and subsequent spatial analysis. At its best, where by itself is a scaffold upon which we can hang other geographic knowledge and skills. At its worst, where by itself is the place name, capes and bays memorization that makes geographers twitchy. To nurture spatial thinking, we must couple the where with why. One way to illustrate these thoughts about spatial thinking is to examine the following photograph and ask, what's wrong with this picture? The spatial thinker looks at the world in spatial terms, inquiring about the whys of where. I was once invited to speak at North Carolina State University in Raleigh. Upon my arrival, the above scene that you just saw immediately struck me as odd, prompted me to take a photograph. Why would stadium bleachers be overlooking a parking lot? The spatial thinker also thinks temporally, realizing the spatial objects change over time. One logical conclusion was that the parking lot had been built upon a former athletic field. When was this done? What will it look like in the future? The situation suggests that it won't be long until the bleachers are torn down. Why was the athletic field paved? Was the campus expanding, necessitating additional parking? Was campus expansion related to national trends or regional trends? Was it population growth in the region? Or was a particular NCSU program suddenly in higher demand? If the field was not protected as a historical site, why not? Was a new stadium built elsewhere? I also took this photograph of the village of Elham, or Elham, located in the North Downs in southeast England. The village was first mentioned as Olaham in an Anglo-Saxon charter of 855 AD. Why was Elham or Elam settled in the center of the Elham Valley instead of on one of the surrounding hillsides? What was the reason? What were the reasons for that? Elham was settled near the river for the same reason most towns are, for access to water, for diversion to the fields, for growing crops and watering livestock, and later for river transportation. Yet we must not stop at considering why. We must also consider how. How was this decision made, whereby a parking lot was deemed more important than an athletic field? What is the best way to test these hypotheses? Incorporate another how through methods. Gather field data through the use of historical and current campus maps and conducting interviews on campus. These considerations represent one more way of conceptualizing spatial thinking.